you're learning to day trade as a beginner, today was the perfect setup to learn and practice patience. Now, my strategy is a momentum strategy, which means we need a swift move in one direction or the other. Now, this morning, we had basically a bunch of chop. So if we zoom in here, and this is Thinkorswim, this is what I use for my charting. Now this is 7:30 or 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, right? So this is a 5-minute chart, so it probably is going to look a little bit crazy here. But you can see right as the market opens, we get a push higher to take out liquidity, right? So this was a liquidity grab and then it drops. Okay? Then it looks like it's going to rebound, so it drops basically from 209 to 171, so a little over 40 points, or close to 40 points. And then we see a big retracement back up to the 22,200, and that's 30 points. Then it comes back to 213, and then finally comes through, which we actually had our level here set, as you can see, at 186. So we caught a little on the downside, and then it came back retraced. We were actually stopped out of this, and then entered again here at actually 170, and I called that in the Discord. So what can we learn from this as a day trader who is a beginner learning to read the markets? Is this key indicator. So this is what I use. So I use the TTM squeeze, which is by Simpler Trading, and the whole idea is to like simplify your trading, right? So we can see this, what this momentum indicator means is that there's potentially buyers. So the momentum's going up. This is what these light blue, the momentum's coming down because we're just consolidating, right? And then these red dots are consolidation. So you can see as this coincides with the light blue that momentum and the volume is going up, right? So going up or to the long side. Now, as you can see, as we start to get closer to the open, this squeeze looks like it fires, but you can see obviously the price action is coming down into the moving average. We see a red dot for more consolidation, and then this blue bar hits right as market opens, which means it's lost all of its power to move upward, right? So now all of the momentum is shifted to the downside. So what happens next is we get a little more consolidation, we get our red squeeze dot, and then boom, the momentum shifts to the downside, and this is what we get. From our entry, our second entry at 170, we get 5, 10, 15 minutes of just downward selling pressure. And then we bottom out here at 21,947 and then rally up. And then in the Discord, we said, hey, is it going to reach back down there? We said, no, we think we'll hold this 2200 level, 22,000 level, and then it will come back up to this Fibonacci level at 22,078. That's exactly what happened. So when you're looking for a momentum trade, especially in the morning when the last 2 days, like I think FOMC happened, so you want to take note of these news events, and you want to take note of how the market's been acting in the previous session. So yesterday the market went up and down and then finally made its move. So we had 5, 10, 15 minutes before it finally made its move. So I would look for that in the next trading day. History doesn't repeat, but sometimes it rhymes. So look for that to follow in the next trading day. We'll post a education video of what that looks like. But this is really just to show you that when you have a level, you want to make sure it confirms. So we did have a close below. So this was our level, right, that we entered in, was 186. It did break through, but then the next 5-minute bar closes up here, right? Then it closes below. And this is when we entered for our 171. So you just have to be patient enough to have one stops in place, or like I've mentioned in some previous videos, don't oversize. I think that's where people get in trouble, because if you this moves 30 points and you have three NQ contracts, that's $1,700 that you potentially could be at risk. So if you have one contract, divide that by three, right? So you're looking at around 600, a little less than $600. And we've talked about that in some previous videos of like how to find a number to put your stop loss at. I like to use 500. So if you're using three contracts, you're going to know that you're going to need to widen your stop losses. So a 30-point move in the NASDAQ is pretty normal, especially in 1 minute. So really, really good information for today as far as like how the market's going to react. And since we are in such a consolidation period through the pre-market, it makes sense that it went and tapped this resistance level at 222, and then it came to touch these levels here, right? So these again were levels that could break. We were looking at this 5 minute to break. It comes down, touches this take profit, which again we were able to capture, which was awesome. But then it bounces, and then finally, once it comes through this last level, that's when it breaks, and it breaks almost 200 points. 200 points in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Pretty incredible stuff. If you can get 200 points, like this is the thing, you don't even have to capture the entire move. If you got in from 170, which is what we called 170, to just this 5 minute bar, that's 30 points. Again, if you're trading three contracts, that's $1,700. If you're making $1,700 in a day, like where are you able to do that? So pretty crazy that this is what can happen. Crazy in a good way, because if you're on the right side of it, it's awesome. If you're on the wrong side of it, it sucks, and hopefully you have stop losses. This is why that was one of the first videos I made. So now we're just looking at momentum indicators as a newbie, as a beginner trader who's day trading. Like, what are we going to look for? We need solid confirmation. If there's no direction, there's no trade. So this was a great example of really no direction. There was not a 5 minute close below this until this 15-minute candle, and then boom, we had a huge drop. So that's how you can look for momentum. Again, the squeeze indicator, something that you can get on Thinkorswim. You can also get it on TradingView as well. But this is such a good way to determine if there's momentum on your side. So that could be going to the upside, and also, as you can see in this example, going in the downside. And there was so much volume here, which was exactly what you want to see on a momentum play. The squeeze helps you get a larger than expected move. And then once it finally made that move, we called it again in the Discord to get a run up to 22,078, which was that Fibonacci level. It also coincided, this is another reason why we were looking at this. Let's go to a daily time frame. Is once that big move happened, I zoomed out, posted this in the group, the Discord group. So once this happened and we came to this 22,000 level, as we said, hey, we're looking for a 2207 bounce. The reason we were looking for that bounce is that was actually the moving average. If it was going to hold above the moving average, this has been so bullish. And if you're a fair value gap type person, you can see that that kind of came in there. But really what we were looking for is to hold that moving average. This has had a bunch of momentum going up on the daily chart, so we know the overall trend, even on a daily time frame, is bullish. So that's great to know when you have a bounce, or excuse me, if you have a drop and it comes below that moving average, that since the momentum is going up, there is potential to see a bounce. And that's exactly what we saw. So we called that. We went on a lower time frame here. This is how we made that entry on a lower time frame. Is we saw this break above this key level at 22.031, and boom, it bounced, right? Came back down and then just kept trending up all day long because the market is bullish. The momentum is on its side on a daily time frame. It closed above the EMA. So we're going to look for that trend to continue higher in the next few days. And if this squeeze fire, this goes green, then what you can do, and I still have this Fibonacci level, is we're looking at this is for the next target, and then here, and so the next target we're looking for is 22,459, and then the 1278, 22944. Okay, so if that squeeze fires, this is going to be our next targets. So that's how you trade with the momentum on an intraday, daily time frame, and as a beginning trader who's looking to day trade. So that was a lot of knowledge, and hopefully that will help you further your trading education. If you want more content like this, give a follow on YouTube, give a follow on TikTok, and you can join our Discord as well.